Rock Zero here with another review. 1999 year in review will be hold off for a little bit as I decide to hold that project off at least until further notice, and I decide to go off and review some other shows. So I was on the network and I just flipped around a few shows, came around and just randomly picked one pay-per-view to watch, and that was WWF In Your House Canadian Stampede. And I was blown away by this show. I was reading on the internet saying this is one of the greatest pay-per-views in WWE history, and I was watching this show from the start to the finish. It was only about 2 hours long. There's only about 4 matches here, but I gotta say, this is definitely one of the greatest pay-per-views I've ever seen. And there's only 4 matches here. Sure, 4 matches, but these 4 matches are some of the best matches ever put on. Period. We start out with Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Mankind. This match was just an all-out fight. It was a brawl. It was a marvelous fight. They were brawling all over the place throughout this entire show. Basically, they were fighting it out. There was a massive pile driver through the table on Hunter Hearst Helmsley's match ends in a no contest, and they just kept on brawling throughout the entire show. Basically, this match was awesome. This was an amazing match. It was almost a street fight it was basically street fight afterwards too. I give this match an 8.5 out of 10. 4 stars and a quarter. It was just a marvelous match. It was a brawl. It was a fight, and I loved it. Next up, in the light heavyweight division, we have the Great Suzuki and Taka Michinoku going at it. And this match was amazing. This was like the counteract WWF had to the awesome cruiserweight division that WCW had. And sure, while the light heavyweight division was nowhere near comparison to the cruiserweight division, this light heavyweight match was very damn good. Very, very damn good. There was a huge outside springboard dive that Taka Michinoku did. He just ran all the way, jumped off of the top rope, and then boom, springboarded himself at the Great Suzuki. So many fucking counters. It was marvelous. It was so fast paced. It was funny as hell because the commentators kept on mispronouncing the guy's name. They kept on saying Taka Michinoku and the Michinoku driver, and when they said the Great Suzuki, they literally said it like that, the Great Suzuki, and they kept on saying it like that, but emphasis on Suzuki. But this was just a phenomenal light heavyweight division match. Phenomenal. Great Suzuki picked up the victory with a devastating tiger suplex. He kicked out the Michinoku driver, and this was just another damn good match. An 8.5 out of 10. Once again, this match was very damn good. Then we get to the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship match. We get The Undertaker putting his title on the line against the man they call Vader. This match was stiff. This match was bowling shoes ugly in the greatest way possible. Undertaker and Vader just beat the crap out of each other. You know, Undertaker got a lot more offense than Vader did, but still, this was a really damn good match. This is actually one of my favorite big men matches I ever seen, honestly. Undertaker did a top rope choke slam and did another choke slam, couldn't put away Vader, and then Undertaker did the most impressive looking tombstone pile driver, or at least one of the most impressive tombstone pile drivers I've ever seen Undertaker do. He just picked up the 400 plus pound Vader and pile drived in with the tombstone. It was a phenomenal, devastating finish. I love that. This also was another good to great match. A 7.5. 3 stars and 3/4 is what I give it. 7.5. One of the most hidden gems, one of the most underrated gems ever featuring The Undertaker. This is one match most people don't talk about when they discuss great Undertaker matches. But I definitely have to say that throughout his title reign here, this is easily, this is probably his, not as good as match with Bret at SummerSlam, but this is probably the second best match he's had in his title, when he had the title in '97. Great match. But this show was all built around the epic main event, the 5-on-5 tag team match between the Hart Foundation versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and the Legion of Doom. This match had the crowd in the palm of its hands. They were chanting, "Austin sucks," throughout the entire match. They hated Austin. Owen Hart got eliminated early on. He got hurt. Steve Austin got hurt, and they got taken to the back, and then they came back out. When Bret Hart came out, the crowd went apeshit. Hell, when Brian Pillman came out, the crowd went wild. When Bulldog came out, the crowd went wild. Owen, they went wild. Every punch, every kick, every slam, every submission hold, everything the Hart Foundation did in this match got some sort of reaction. The crowd was on their feet throughout this entire match. The emotions of this Canadian crowd was just in the palm of these 10 men's hands. The crowd was electric. It's one of the best crowds I've ever seen in a pay-per-view event. That crowd was awesome, and this match was also awesome. Owen Hart picked up the victory for the team, and this is one of the greatest matches, one of the best main events of any pay-per-view. It's one of the best matches, period, in pay-per-views. It's one of the best multi-man tag team matches out there. It's one of the best pay-per-view main events out there, period. A 10 out of 10. 5 stars for that main event. Hart Foundation, huge baby faces. Even though at this weird time period, Bret Hart was the heel. I always was marvelous about that. Bret Hart was a heel, a villain in the United States, but everywhere else, he was a hero. And damn it, this match was awesome. So that was the end of the show. Then all of a sudden, all the Harts came in. Stu got in there. It was funny, actually. Stone Cold actually put his hands on Stu Hart, and then all the Harts just started beating the shit out of the Steve Austin team. Crowd went nuts. Crowd went nuts. I can't emphasize how much that crowd went ape shit. Overall, In Your House Canadian Stampede is one of the greatest shows of all time. In WWE history and wrestling history, this show is one of the greatest pay-per-views I've ever seen. An overall final verdict for this show gets an 8.6 out of 10. And if you haven't watched my videos before, you should know that I take all of the matches and I put them all together and I find the average. And what's the average? And that's the average for this show, an 8.6 out of 10. And that score is amazing. That's amazing. That means on average, each match on average got 4 stars and a quarter. That is amazing. Catch you next time. Peace.